Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. This video is a idea concept that I meditate upon sometimes with regards to the difference or relationship between meaning and cause and effect. What made me think of this specifically was I was meditating back about the incident of my tooth breaking a few days ago or a week or so ago and trying to determine some sort of cause and effect or meaning from it, since it happened at such a coincidental or synchronistic moment. And I thought back about, 15 and 17 years ago. I had a similar incident shortly after a Ouija board incident where I had a wisdom tooth do something similar, and that wisdom tooth I had pulled out. I'll make a video about that Ouija board thing some other time. And I got to think, like, what does it mean? What does it all mean? Like, what is the lesson or information I'm supposed to take away from these synchronicities and coincidences, or is there any meaning? Am I fooling myself? Is it all cause and effect? Maybe a cause and effect outside my and our understanding of mechanics of how reality functions. Or is it just pure coincidence, which it may very well have been? Other examples of what I'm referring to are, you hear a song on a radio the day after or immediately after you're thinking about it, or you're thinking about someone and the phone rings, or I find people in the scene will have a lot of repeating number synchronicities where they see a lot of the same numbers showing up on the clock or on their watch or whatever. These are the things that I'm talking about, and how to apply rational scientific method to determining whether you're dealing with spirits or angels, or whether you're dealing with some sort of quantum physics effect, or whether you are just dealing with pure coincidence or psychological subjective observations. Okay? When it comes to the whole concept of the difference between like angels, spirits, demons, and quantum effects with reality, I think a good thing to apply to your meditation is the human function of applying, this is a very key word here, personification to concepts. And where you can see a really golden example of a personification would be on the theme of teeth, in a toothpaste commercial where, and I'm making this no specific toothpaste commercial, but in general, a toothpaste commercial where the scene or the camera zooms in onto the inside of a mouth, and all the teeth are there, and then all the teeth grow little eyes and little mouths of themselves and start talking about the plaque in the mouth and the toothbrush coming in or whatever it is. Or another example would be like vegetables on a counter, and then suddenly all the vegetables grow eyes and mouths and have some sort of little interaction to display emotions and situational functions that are relevant to our understanding and mode of operation. But we know that teeth and fruit do not have eyes and mouths, nor do they have that level of consciousness. We just apply the method or the function or the tool of personification to these inanimate objects. Not necessarily, I mean, teeth and fruit and vegetables aren't necessarily inanimate, but I think you understand what I'm saying. So I think that could be applied to these mystical, irrational observations that a magician might experience, where you apply the method of personification to them in order to help you better understand their modality, as well as utilize and interact with these things, right? Or they could be fucking spirits in here. I don't know. It's just something to meditate upon so that you do not become obsessed with a concept in your mind. A healthy dose of skepticism and a healthy dose of scientific experimentation is warranted and very healthy. And life in the fabric of reality, the aether, or whatever it is that we're experiencing, tends to be more liquid than solid than our predecessors in philosophy and science would have led us to believe. And quantum physics is proving that the waves, the existence of the wave, the concept of the wave, right into the vibration of molecules and patterns and gravity, and reality has a lot more in common with waves than fixed solid matter. Okay, and that's not my opinion. Look, you can look that up for yourself. They say that reality is more like waves than solid matter. I'm sorry, I'm reading the notes that I've taken here as I kind of go along, trying not to ramble. So if you are navigating a reality that is like waves and you're experiencing these incidences of repeating numbers or synchronicities or occurrences outside of what would be called typical or normal, I personally tend to subscribe to the mental exercise or meditation of picturing life as going down a river in a rowboat, just like the children's tale or the children's song, and applying the whole cause and effect to things. If you were to throw a rock off the side of the boat into the water, you can see it splash, and make ripples and the sound and the plunk and everything. But in this meditation, reality and the present moment is stuck within the confines of the rowboat itself, and the whole river and everything outside of the rowboat is the aether, the spiritual world, the consciousness, the quantum world, whatever, however you want to interact with these things. And if you become aware of them and experiment and learn to interact with it in sorts, what is a psychic ability of if you're seeing a rock come down the river? You might feel the boat moving towards it, or know you have to move around it or something, even though it's not physically manifest. Just a meditation to think about. Another version of that is reality, or the physical present moment reality, is the smacking of the water against a rock at the base of a waterfall. And if you look up, you have this whole height of free falling water, and you could draw patterns in it as it fell or pushed it to a different area or another area. But the only actual experienced physical reality is the point of the water and the rocks interacting and smacking and making that sound. And that concept of the water falling and hitting the rock is another concept I apply to when I think of the Holy Kabbalah. I might do a different video on that, applying that same waterfall concept to better illustrate that with Kabbalah. That it's a very easy to understand way of applying that in my mind anyway. Well, I've rambled enough for this specific one. I think with that couple end notes, it's like Bruce Lee said, be water, my friend. Be water. And like the little children say, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Life is but a dream. You know, don't get too hung up on things. Don't get too obsessed with things. And don't take yourself too seriously. Love is the law. Love under will.